What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. And as we get closer to the Game Awards, I wanted to start doing some predictions or the major announcements that we could see at the show. So over the years, for those who don't know, the Game Awards has been a huge spot for Nintendo to have big announcements. We're talking all the way back to 2014 when The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was shown off for the second time after E3, but with some actual gameplay of the show. We've had Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild with the DLC, the Shadow drop right there that night. We've had Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, games like Bravely Default. Remember, Joker was announced for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as the first DLC pack character one outside of the Piranha Plant. Then we have Bravely Default 2, we had Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I mean, there is a long history of games, and even games like Bayonetta 3, well, 1, 2, and 3. So it's been a huge mix of big announcements from Microsoft, Sony, and also from Nintendo. So I kind of wanted to do one show on Nintendo and then another show on some of the other games that we could see. So here are the things, or here's why we're going to see some big announcements at this year's show. Now, for those who don't know, the Game Awards runs online on the official Game Awards channel. They have it like on Twitch and YouTube. Jeff Keighley will be the host. It will be December 10th, and I'll have a timeline guide for you guys in the link in the description below. So it should be a pretty good show, and of course, I'll be streaming it right here. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, all that good stuff, guys, if you want to get all the up-to-date stuff on what's going on with the Game Awards and what we're going to be doing for PlayerEssence. But let's get into some of these predictions that we are going to see, or at least I think that we're going to see. And there's a few big ones here, and I'm going to start off where everyone I think wants me to start off, or where you guys have been asking, like, when is this happening? Because I think I had a video 2 years ago talking about this, and that was Metroid Prime Trilogy, Metroid Prime 4. Like, what is going on with this game? We've known, or at least the rumors have pretty much put this game with Metroid Prime Trilogy, okay? This is Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3, all kind of wrapped up in a nice HD package for the Switch. We've been talking about this game for years. Apparently, it's done, and I think finally, maybe, potentially, possibly, oh my gosh, we can see it at the Game Awards. I mean, it would be dope. I know there was a rumor a couple years ago. I was completely wrong on that. People thought that it was going to happen then, but it never did. But I honestly think that Metroid Prime Trilogy HD could finally get revealed, and then maybe, just maybe, if the Nintendo gods and stars just align here, maybe we get the first actual somewhat footage, first maybe concept footage, something, just to give the fans a bone when it comes to Metroid Prime 4. I know they've been hard at work on that game, so I'm hoping and I'm thinking something Metroid related in the show. And if we don't get Metroid Prime 4 or Metroid Prime Trilogy, maybe we get the 2D Metroid game that's been long rumored as well. Mercury Steam, they went radio silent. What are they working on? I think a new 2D Metroid game or a remake of a previous 2D Metroid game might be in the works here. So moving on to the next thing, and we're going to talk about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I think that we could get the next character reveal at this show. We've had it before. Joker was a huge reveal. I think I went insane when that was there. You guys can look it up on the channel. I went nuts back in 2017 with Joker. That was a huge show for Nintendo. And I think that with Steve already being out and him being out for like, what, more than a month now and a couple months at this point, or at least by the time that the show starts, I think the next Super Smash Bros. Character could definitely be shown at the show. And you know what? I don't know who it's going to be, okay? I've had multiple different videos where I go over who I think it could be and what they could do. So if you want to hear my predictions or who I think, because that's a question that's just asked so many times from me, check out all my previous videos. I mean, like, I've done so much on that. So Super Smash Bros. Character potentially at the Game Awards. Now, next up, I want to talk about something that was revealed at that same Game Awards when it comes to Joker, and that was Bayonetta 1, Bayonetta 2, but particularly Bayonetta 3. This game has pretty much went MIA, right? They've talked about it, like Astral Chain, when that game came out, they're like, okay, yeah, we're still working on the game, don't worry. Kamiya has mentioned it a couple times, so something tells me when this is going on, the game is not canceled. People think the game is canceled. Heck, if Shin Megami Tensei 5 didn't get canceled, trust me, this game didn't get canceled either. So the game is still in development, it's still going, and I think that they are just getting ready to show it, and it's going to be something bigger and better than what you would expect. I think people expect, okay, it's going to be like Bayonetta 2 with just like a new coat of paint, graphics a little bit better. Maybe it's 1080p, 60 frames per second instead of 720p like the Wii U version. But I honestly think that they're gonna go for something that they haven't done before with the combat and the gameplay style. It's not just gonna be a Bayonetta 2 Plus for the Switch, which is what I think people think it's going to be. I think it's actually going to have meaningful and significant gameplay changes to the combat in order to make it something that's new. And when you get like really in depth with the controls and the mechanics and the combat, it becomes something that you didn't expect from Platinum Games. Almost like an Astral Chain. Nobody really thought about the concept that they did in Astral Chain until it was actually done. You're like, oh snap, that's actually pretty cool. So I'm thinking, not that they're gonna copy Astral Chain, but they're gonna have some type of unique and different type of mechanic that still makes it feel like Bayonetta, but also makes it feel like they've added something meaningful and new and different to the game. So I think that's the reason why it's taking some time, and also they wanna show it off in the best possible way. So maybe we finally see this game at the Game Awards. And it was revealed 3 years ago, right? This will be the 3-year anniversary. I think Jeff Keighley, Nintendo, they owe us this one with Bayonetta 3. So I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, that we potentially get that. Now, for the last thing that we're going to talk about here in this video, and that is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. And to me, this might have the biggest possibility out of everything that I've discussed today. This honestly might have the biggest possibility of actually showing up at the show. And the reason why I say that is because over the years, multiple years now, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, or The Legend of Zelda, has been a big part of the show. They've had the Symphony, I think, one time, right? Or maybe not on that, but don't quote me on that one. But they've had multiple different things here. They've had Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2017. That won the Game of the Year, of course. But then they also had the DLC, which I kind of alluded to at the beginning. The DLC dropped there with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. They had that. And then even if you go back further, so let's go back to 2014. Remember, guys, this was when Breath of the Wild was first shown off. People were like chomping at the bit to get this game or to get more information. And then we saw Mr. Aonuma and Mr. Miyamoto in that room playing The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild right there with the Wii U gamepad and everything. So 2014, 2017, two big examples of huge news, right? Like, we didn't know when that DLC would drop in 2017. We knew it was coming, but we didn't know when. And it was like, yo, it's available right now. You know, like, you can go out there and get it. That was nuts. And then to see The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, before we even knew that they were doing Game Awards stuff, right? Nintendo wasn't involved too much in the Game Awards or what Keighley did beforehand, Spike TV and all that. So to see them have that there, and Nintendo always wants to have a big show when it comes to like Legend of Zelda or their flagship titles, it seems, based off of the anniversary, but maybe they show off the first glimpses of Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess and also the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD. Those two games are still stuck on the Wii U. Bringing those over for the 25th anniversary next year, that's something that a lot of people would really be excited for. So maybe they say, hey, you can get the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD, the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess available next year. Oh, and one more thing, like they did with Bayonetta 1, Bayonetta 2, and Bayonetta 3. I think that would be really cool if they lined up something like that, and something obviously a lot of people would love to see with The Legend of Zelda, because there will be a celebration for it. But will the party start a little bit early at the Game Awards in terms of Jeff Keighley getting us some type of announcement for it? So there's so many possibilities in terms of what Nintendo could do. Like I said, over the years, they've had so many good announcements at the Game Awards, which is why I love the show, despite what people say about the awards and how much we clown them or whatever the case is. Every single year I've watched the Game Awards, there's always been something that I've liked, or at least a few different things that I've liked, which make it worth watching all the cringe or all the other stuff in the shows. So don't be so quick to write it off here, guys. For those who are kind of new to watching this, or if you haven't seen it, because every year it just grows in popularity and there's just more and more people who watch the show, and it gets on more different places for people to watch. Like, give it a chance. I mean, it's not all going to be great, but there's probably going to be at least a game or two, or maybe even 3 or 4 that you do enjoy or that you didn't see coming. It kind of like came out of left field. Like, there's no way that anybody thought they were going to announce Bravely Default 2 at the Game Awards, but they did, and it was a great announcement. The same thing went with Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Nobody thought they were going to announce a Marvel Ultimate Alliance game, and we got that at the Game Awards as well. So expect some surprises, guys. Expect something that maybe you didn't think would be coming, and expect at least one major announcement for Nintendo, whether that's a game that's coming from a third-party developer and then bringing it over to the Switch, or something from Nintendo themselves. There should be at least something. Nintendo is on the advisory board. They do have a number of games being nominated this year, not as much as last year, but they do have a number of games on the list for the nominees, and they should win a few different ones here. So obviously Nintendo's going to want to bring something to the table, because their 2021 is already looking absolutely nuts, which I did a video on. So make sure you guys check out that video if you haven't seen it. There'll be a link in the description as well, and also on the video page. But yeah, it looks like they're setting up for a pretty big 2021, and the Game Awards could be the first start of that. So what do you guys think that we're going to see from the big end at the Game Awards this year? What are your predictions? I'd love to hear them in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Check out the links in the description. We've got Twitter. Go and give us a follow on there. Stay up to date on all latest gaming news and information. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.